Because 6 months on the radio was all the FCC and his parole officer would allow, this is the Walt Bonetti Podcast. God help us all.
Welcome to episode 39 of the Walt Bonetti Podcast for March 6th. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is brought to you by the original Italian Pie of Kenner. You can dine in at 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade, or call them 469-4999 and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office, or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. On today's podcast, a freak accident takes the life of a Tulane student. A state legislator wants to jail speeders. 2 men go to jail over chocolate milk. A Florida man throws an old toilet through a window in Illinois. And no, I didn't give up talking about Jefferson Parish's sexual predator-in-chief, Michael, don't call me Mike, Yenny, for Lent. But first, these quick hits. 2 children and 1 adult are dead, and a child and an adult are hospitalized after an incident this morning in Tarrytown. Both adults are female. JPSO is still investigating and will have more details as they become available. A Tulane University student was killed on Mardi Gras after a freak incident at an I-10 rest area in Mississippi. Margaret Maurer, a Newcomb scholar, and 2 friends were getting back in their vehicle at the rest stop. 2 tires from an 18-wheeler broke off the truck, striking Maurer, her vehicle, and another vehicle. The Louisiana legislative session begins in a few weeks, and legislators have begun pre-filing bills. Legislators are allowed to file up to 5 bills in a non-fiscal session. Among the early pre-filed bills, State Representative Frank Hoffman from West Monroe filed House Bill 38 that would raise the smoking age in the state from 18 to 21 and make it a crime for retailers to sell cigarettes to those under 21. House Bill 12, filed by Baton Rouge State Rep. Steve Carter, would allow voters to change the Constitution to allow local jurisdictions to change the amount of the homestead exemption. State Senator J.P. Morrell from New Orleans wants to make buying diapers tax-free. And Shreveport State Representative Sam Jenkins wants to make it a crime and jail speeders and people turning without using a turn signal, among other things. There's been a big push for criminal justice reform, but I don't think this was the kind of criminal justice reform we've been talking about. Yes, people who speed and who drive aggressively and who follow too close, and especially those who turn into lanes and out of lanes without using a turn signal, are irritating. But do they deserve to go to jail? I mean, come on now. I don't even think you should get a ticket for following too close or for not using a turn signal. Those are just more money grabs by the government. I mean, who's to say that you're following too close? Was a police officer out there measuring the distance? Was he tracking your speed? How is that a crime? And certainly, how is that a crime that you're going to go to jail for? I mean, come on now. An Ohio nail salon is causing controversy over its name, although it is kind of catchy. Hand Jobs Nails and Spa recently opened in Perkins Township in northeast Ohio near Cleveland. Owner Don Moon told a TV reporter, quote, "In less than a week, I think the whole country knows about us." Yeah, but the question we all want answered is, can you get a mani-pedi and a happy ending? And at least for now, hand jobs in Perkins Township, Ohio, are only $30. And now this. If giving up fast food was on your list to give up for Lent, you need to think about the original Italian Pie of Kenner. They're at 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office. Or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. And did you know the original Italian Pie of Kenner has daily lunch specials? You can get a salad and a pizza, or a salad and a calzone, or a salad and a half sandwich, or soup and a salad. The combinations are limitless. I could keep going forever, but I won't. But think about the original Italian Pie of Kenner. Eat some great food for lunch or for dinner. So whenever you want to eat great food, skip the fast food joint. Think about the original Italian Pie of Kenner. 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in, like I said, or call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office. Or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. Eat some great food today from the original Italian Pie of Kenner.
What's inside you right now?
Guts and black stuff.
Walt Benetti.
Welcome back. Thanks again for spending part of your day with the podcast. Yeah, I know it's Lent, and I know we're all giving up things, and I know many of you, including Michael, don't call me Mike Yenny, wishes that I would give up talking about Jefferson Parish's sexual predator-in-chief for Lent. You know, I thought about it. I really did. I considered it long and hard. And then I said, nah, that's not happening. And even if I wanted to grant some of your wishes, including Mike Yenny's, I can't do it. I just can't. He won't let me.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
We told you last week about the poll that came out and the bad news for Michael, don't call me Mike Yenny's campaign, possible campaign, because he hasn't said whether he's going to run for re-election for parish president or not. And while I've never put a whole lot of faith in polls, particularly polls that are paid for by someone, whether it's a candidate or a candidate supporter, and this one was paid for by Henry Shane, who was a loyal Mike Yenny supporter for years, until the sexting scandal, and is now supporting Cynthia Lee-Sheng for parish president, I did quote the numbers from this one. And we'll quote other numbers as we get other polls as well. The poll by JMC Analytics surveyed 600 registered voters in Jefferson Parish via telephone. And the poll showed that Cynthia Lee-Sheng led the Jefferson Parish president's race with 30% of the possible vote. Former parish president John Young got 23%, and current Jefferson Parish President Michael, don't call me Mike Yenny, had 14% to finish in last place in a three-person race. Well, late Friday afternoon, Michael Yenny, in all his spoiled, petulant 4-year-old girl glory, issued a statement bashing the poll, of course, and bashing some other people as well. Yenny said, quote, "My decision on whether to seek re-election will not be based on a Henry Shane poll. Henry's polling in the past had Danny Martini beating Dominic Impastato for parish council in 2017, Maria DeFrances beating Benzon for Kenner mayor in 2016, and Julie Stokes being elected Secretary of State in 2018. None of that happened, and his polling isn't credible. My decision will be made by me after discussing the matter with my wife, family, key staff members, and my trusted political advisor, who shall remain nameless, Greg Buson. I am not ready to declare whether I will or will not run again. At this time, I am solely committed to completing the projects that I have started as parish president. I am pleased that every accurate poll indicates that our citizens and voters are very satisfied with our progress in Jefferson Parish, and I have earned strong scores from our public on how we are managing the business of the parish. If I believe that voters are willing to support me again based on how I have managed our public policy, professionally guided the office of parish president, and strategically garnered hundreds of millions of dollars in improvements for Jefferson, then I will likely seek re-election. If I believe that voters will separate my effective public service from my personal imperfection, then I will run. I recognize clearly the kind of election that will be ahead of me. I realize that a cavalcade of political opportunists and opponents will use the cloak of a campaign to air their own naughty, self-righteous views while attacking me. I am not deterred by the stones they will throw from their own glass houses. My lapse in judgment in my personal life was foolish, careless, quite uncharacteristic of me, and it was then overtly sensationalized by overhyped reporting. I apologize to my family and to the people of Jefferson Parish, who I represent. My family and I are closer and stronger than ever, and I can only hope that the public is willing to forgive me as well. I never let the echo chamber of political wannabes and antagonists drown out my agenda for progress. Of course, I was personally disappointed when politician after politician hopped on a bandwagon to ask me to resign. But then again, bandwagon effects aren't a phenomenon. They are to be expected in a world of sanctimonious political grandstanding. No, I will either run again with a bold agenda for Jefferson Parish's continued growth and unprecedented vision projects, or I will not run and use the end of my term to lobby for dramatic changes to our ordinances and structure that are long overdue. Either way, the polling of a campaign contributor who wants so badly to be a political insider will never guide my decision-making. Just reading that statement by Michael, don't call me Mike Yenny, makes me feel like I need to go take a shower and just wash myself and just bathe. It is unbelievable, the arrogance that this person has. Aside from the fact that there are many errors, which we're going to talk about in a second, the fact that he talks about bandwagons and political wannabes and antagonists trying to drown out his agenda. I mean, come on. And the fact that he calls the media reporting overtly sensationalized. First of all, the media reporting wasn't sensationalized enough. The media never went far enough because they have tried to protect and coddle Mike Yenny, because the typical mainstream media in New Orleans needs access to politicians. They have to have access to get stories. And that's sad that we don't have one person out there that can accurately report all of the facts all of the time and bash and criticize whoever out there needs to be criticized. But on the bright side, I guess if we did have someone in the media that was willing to stand up to elected officials and say, hey, I don't need your access. I'm going to report the facts all of the time, no matter where they lead me, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. But maybe that would be a good thing, right? This afternoon, JMC Analytics, the company that did the poll, released its own statement on its website. Quote, President Yenny's remarks about the caliber of polling coming from JMC Analytics and polling is a perfectly appropriate defensive reaction, given his controversial tenure as parish president. It's unfortunate, however, that in defending himself, he didn't do a more professional job of verifying the facts. Yes, once again, Mike Yenny and Jefferson Parish's Minister of Propaganda, Greg Buson, don't let facts get in the way of their storytelling. JMC Analytics did say that it polled the 2017 Martini-Impastato Parish Council race twice for Henry Shane. Quote, the first time, in January 2017, showed Martini tied with Impastato 15 to 15%. In the second poll, in September of 2017, Impastato had a 5-point lead, 35% to 30%. JMC Analytics also confirmed that it polled voters in the DeFrancis-Zahn Kenner mayor race, and it was paid for by Shane. In October of 2016, it showed Zahn with a 37 to 18% lead over DeFrancis. JMC Analytics said that Shane did not pay for a poll in the 2018 race for Louisiana Secretary of State, but that polls that it did confirmed that Kyle Ardoin and Gwen Collins Greenup would make the runoff, and both of them did. Julie Stokes was not in the picture at all. So Yenny was wrong, and wrong. Again. But Yenny just can't let it go. So after JMC Analytics issued their statement on their website, Yenny also issued another statement. Quote, I never stated that JMC was the polling firm in error. I never implicated the pollster directly in any way. I can't even be certain that the poll numbers released by Mr. Shane were the data released directly from the pollster, nor can JMC for that matter. I know what Mr. Shane reported in past election cycles, and I can comfortably stand by my statement that several of the early numbers in speculative matchups distributed by Henry Shane were in error, some grossly inaccurate. I would venture to say that an apartment developer is not well briefed on the nuances of demography, weighting based on voting biases, polling methodology, and more. Polling should be used as a political tool by consultants, candidates, and staff for managing a campaign, not irresponsibly by a campaign contributor who has a dog in the hunt and is hoping to influence the outcome. Mikey, you're not talking about when Henry Shane used to pay for polls for you, are you? Oh, those polls were okay. But when Henry Shane pays for other polls that don't make you look quite as good, they're not okay, right? Yeah, I get it. What a hypocrite.
Now, the Walt Bonetti Podcast Dumbass of the Day.
2 men were arrested and charged with shoplifting after the pair drank chocolate milk at a West Monroe Walmart, left the empty milk containers in the store, and left the building completely. A Walmart employee saw 20-year-old Corey Bowie and 18-year-old Cameron Poe take the milk off the shelf and drink it. Bowie and Poe admitted to police that they drank the milk without paying for it. The milk would have set them back a whole $1.28. Both were charged with shoplifting, and Bowie also was charged with misrepresentation during booking after attempting to lie about his name. He was trying to duck the fact that he had outstanding warrants in 2 other jurisdictions. So, for going to jail over $1.28 worth of chocolate milk, Corey Bowie and Cameron Poe are our dumbasses of the day. A Florida man is in jail after he threw a toilet through a window of an East St. Louis, Illinois Board of Education building. 36-year-old Dave Tolliver carried an old toilet to the board office and threw it through the front glass of the building. He then fled. Officers found Tolliver a few blocks away, sitting on, yeah, you guessed it, another old toilet. Maybe he has a collection or something. He was charged with criminal damage. Well, that puts a wrap on today's podcast. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, story ideas, please email waltbradio@gmail.com. That's waltbradio@gmail.com. Please support our sponsor, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. They're located at 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them, 469-4999. And they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your business. Or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. As we tell you every day, please go out and be a blessing. Change someone's life today, even if it's your own. You can do it. You really can. Thanks for listening.
Walt Bonetti.